Welcome to the Canadian Rallye Championship on TSN. In the first round of the Canadian Rallye Championship, the Rallye Baie, Patrick Richard and Subaru Team Canada took a crucial victory after rival Antoine blew his engine and crazy Leo Ulicic crashed in the night. Subaru drivers Steve Hobbs and Hugo Desgrenay joined Richard on the podium for a strong start to their season, while in two-wheel drive, Paul Hartle prevailed over Martin Walter and Eric Deschênes after Simon Dubé beached his car in the deep woods. These top drivers are all back to do battle again in the second round of the Canadian Rallye Championship. The Rallye Baie de Chaleurs has the wildest fans, the most difficult weather, and often the most slippery mud in the championship. And it also has the biggest jump in North America. This is the Canadian Rallye Championship on TSN. The Canadian Rallye Championship is brought to you by Subaru, confidence in motion, and by Yokohama Tire Canada. The Baie de Chaleurs off the Gaspé coast of eastern Quebec is a place of historic naval battles, and this weekend it will be the scene of the battle for supremacy in the second round of the Canadian Rallye Championship. Pat Richard and Antoine talk about their strategy.
Well, our goal is always to be winning the championship. We can always drive faster and win stages, but that's not the point of what we're doing here. And I think our goal this weekend is to leave where we came, which is leading the championship.
Just go flat out, like all the time. I think I need to catch up some points because of the difference between a win and a second place is only 5 points. I'm already 20 points behind. You know, Pat could afford to finish second the next 4 rallies, let's say, if I win them all, and we'd be tied going in the last rally of the championship. So I need to win, but I like to go hard and try to win rallies. That's what I'll try to do.
As the teams make final preparations in the service area, they compare notes and talk strategy about how to take on the roads of the Rallye Baie de Chaleurs. The rally is known for high speeds, high humidity, and dense tree cover. With a lot of important stages run at night, this can mean mud on the roads, and even the most professional co-drivers can become nauseous.
Seriously, just going to relax, eat a little bit, try to drink a lot, because it's really humid, and in the car it's really hot, so even though it's not sunny, we're losing a lot of fluid, so just try to relax.
In terms of overall strategy, we're not trying to drive the car off the road, we're just trying to keep it in the rally and try to get some points this weekend.
Baie de Chaleurs is such an amazing rally. There are tons of great things about it. Awesome atmosphere, amazing fans, very friendly volunteers. But the biggest thing I love about Baie is amazing roads.
The roads are awesome. They're a little bit inconsistent with the grip level. Some of the corners are really grippy and some of them are really muddy and slippy.
There's a lot of places where you could break a strut just like that. So you got to be real careful there to survive the rally and finish and be as quick as we can.
Sure, I have a motocross background and I'm used to being shaked a lot, so I'm served here.
As the teams prepare for the battle to come, one of the main things on all of their minds is the weather. Rain is in the forecast, and when it rains at Baie, the mud can be as slippery as ice. After a very short transit, teams are lining up for the first stage of the rally. The first leg is 2 sets of 3 stages repeated, so the teams will be trying to improve their pace notes as they go. But whatever their strategy is, now they have to be ready for action. Antoine and co-driver Nathalie Richard are first out of the gate. They've won this rally 4 times before, and they know what it takes.
Drop here and flat crest, and keep middle of a jump, maybe. No. Okay. Flat drop here. Okay. No.
But they have a problem with the pace notes on the very first stage.
And keep middle of a jump, maybe. And left into right, tightens little. Keep in bridge. Into keep left. Into turn right 2.
I don't know where you are.
Turn, keep left here, turn right 2. Cut, small cut. And small flat crest.
Yeah, we had some fun. We also had a bit of an oops moment on the first stage. I turned 2 pages and missed the biggest call of the whole stage, which was a caution for us. And even in our synopsis before the stage, it was watch out for that one. We could go off, and naturally I didn't even call it because he was going blind at that point. But other than that, we'll just keep on doing what we're doing because it seems to be working for us.
Patrick Richard is battling a snowboard injury that damaged the Achilles tendon on his braking foot, but that's not slowing him down much. He's got co-driver Rob Fagg back with him after the pair won the Rallye Baie together on their first outing.
I had a snowboarding injury a few months ago, so I can't really use my brake foot or my clutch foot very well, so I have to take it easy on the braking zones.
Crazy Leo comes out of the gate fast, although he feels the car isn't quite right, like it's down on power and the suspension isn't working correctly. He's got Martin Brady back as a co-driver. They won the Tall Pines Rally together in 2011. Hugo Desgrenets is up in 4th overall after 2 stages, but has an engine fire on the 3rd that puts him out of the rally, a crushing disappointment after his podium at Personnage. Maxime and Robert Labrie start well in 5th overall and bump up to 4th with Hugo's retirement. Joel Goulet jumps from starting 17th to being 6th overall, seemingly out of nowhere, but he's a local hero who used to run an Eagle Talon, and now he has Steve Hobbs' old car. And for Steve Hobbs, he's only staying a few seconds ahead of Joel Goulet in 5th. In two-wheel drive, Paul Hartle in the VW Golf is leading the championship and is here at Baie looking for more points. Marc-André Larose in the rear-drive BMW loves the rough roads here and will have much better traction than he had on the ice at Personnage. Martin Walter in the 240SX will also be able to get his turbo rear-drive power to the ground better, and Jeffrey Dowell in the Lancer is using his 40 years of rally experience to hustle his production spec car through the stages. After 3 stages, Antoine Lestage is leading the field, with Crazy Leo in a strong second, just ahead of Subaru Team Canada's Pat Richard, who's nursing that bad foot and making sure to get points. When we come back, the roads at Baie are slippery enough already, but here comes the rain. Welcome back to the Canadian Rally Championship on TSN. After the first 3 stages, Antoine Lestage was out to a strong lead over Crazy Leo, who feels down on power, and Pat Richard, who's nursing his bad foot and driving for points. The second group of 3 stages is a rerun of the same roads, so there are no big surprises for the teams, and there's no change in the top of the leaderboard heading into service.
The conditions are what we expected, and we're taking it easy like we planned to this event, trying a few different things with the car, and Rob and I made all new notes for this weekend, so we're taking the advantage of the opportunity that we have to just try to get some points this weekend. So it's going well. I had a flat on the long stage there right at the beginning, so we dropped quite a bit of time in the 3rd stage, but we dropped quite a bit of time relative to Antoine. We're still only a few seconds behind Leo, so it's going okay.
Very good, went very well for us. Won the 3 stages again, so we've won all the stages today so far, and now we have quite a good lead. I think something like 45 seconds over Leo. Yeah, I'm really happy, really comfortable with the car, and the roads are great. They're not easy, they're wet in some very tricky places, but overall it goes really well. The car feels good. The Yokohama tires are perfect, so I'm really happy.
Well, we had a bit of fun. We pushed hard. We have a bit of we're not quite sure if the setup is a bit too soft. I'm not really struggling from too much grip, but on the other hand, in high-speed stuff, it feels a bit too soft. So it's okay. It's too bad we're not really in a battle because Pat is a bit behind, and Antoine's quite far ahead by now. So just want to battle with somebody closer.
I think we are 4th. We're behind the top 3. Leo, Antoine, and Pat, but that was expected. We weren't expecting to compete with those guys. But then it's very close with Steve. I think it's going to be a nice battle, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, we were like a couple old slow guys to start with, but we're picking up the pace now. Stage 3 was a lot better. Ferdinand wasn't feeling too good halfway through. He had to put his head in his sandwich bag.
And right 6, and right 4, and caution right 3.
I'll drive.
Happens sometimes, but he said he feels better, he's good to go. So.
While the teams are in service, the rain begins, making the roads even more slippery with standing water, which brings its own hazards.
Baby and deceptive. Early, right 4 minus. Road right, tightens little maybe. And left 4 minus late. keep right over small flat crest and late left 2 plus. Okay.
We had a minute 20 lead, but in the last stage after a water splash, the car just stalled and it would not restart. We lost a minute and a half. So we've lost all of our lead.
Lost everything we worked for. Done.
We'll get it back.
Lestage isn't the only front runner to have a problem on this leg. Here's Pat Richard.
Opens for 40 to 3 right minus wide. 140. 140. 2 left plus wide. Opens 30 and tightens to 4 left way in over crest. Over 40. And 4 right plus half long, very loose. That's you finished.
We lost the top gears there.
Yeah?
Yeah, didn't you see me fighting with the shifter?
Yeah.
We only had 4th gear and lower.
We've got a gearbox issue, so we've lost a couple of gears, but hopefully the guys can fix it. But it's been a bit stressful, you know, and really flying and not having the top gears on those stages has been a struggle because it's such power stages. So hopefully the guys can work magic now and get the other box put in.
With Lestage and Richard having problems, the big winner is Crazy Leo, who pulls away from Richard and gets within 2 seconds of the lead, although he has his own moment with the standing water.
Okay, right, very full cut, neat.
Well done.
Maxime Labrie is still in the hunt, holding steady in 4th place. And after an unsteady start, Steve Hobbs has found his rhythm and overhauled Maxime Lausier for 5th. Rally legend Sylvain Vincent is in 8th place with his son Simon co-driving and picking up driving tips. 2012 Rookie of the Year Alexandre Belland ran well at Paris-Neige. Swap Shop prepares some of the best cars in Quebec, and at this event he's put an engine from a top-level world rally car in it. But he hasn't found the pace with it yet. In 2-wheel drive, Martin Walter is enjoying his rear-wheel drive in the mud, and Jeffrey Dowell and daughter Emily are on a steady run. Marc-André Larose is going very well in his BMW. But none of these usual suspects is anywhere near local rock stars Raphael Guité and Nancy Frigon in their Neon SRT4, who are 4 minutes ahead of Larose, despite this little error. And even further ahead and out in front in 2-wheel drive are locals Dave Saint-Pierre and Simon Lortie in their front drive Nissan Sentra SER. After 9 stages, Lestage has only a 1.3 second lead over Crazy Leo, and Pat Richard's gearbox troubles are holding him 43 seconds back. In 2-wheel drive, Saint-Pierre and Guité are almost tied on stage times, but Guité took a 1-minute penalty for being late out of service, so Saint-Pierre leads. Larose holds a distant 3rd. When we come back, night falls, and so does one of the leaders. Welcome back to the Rallye Baie Chaleurs and the Canadian Rally Championship. Rally racing is difficult at the best of times, but when you combine high speeds, high temperatures, a bunch of rain, and then make it all happen at night, you have some of the most challenging driving in the world. Antoine Lestage has less than a 2-second lead heading into the night stages.
3, 2, 1, go. 30, crest right 3, keep in. Into left 3 plus, opens. And crest right 3 plus long, slippy, opens little over crest, keep in.
Crazy Leo is only 1.3 seconds behind Lestage, and he's going flat out.
Into cock right 4, into cut left 5 minus, into right 7, care, opens long, tightens square.
But now Crazy Leo has lost oil pressure, and he's slowing down.
Square left half cut. Get it well in. Will it go more?
And Leo's rally is over.
Yeah, triangle.
Okay.
Pat Richard has a new gearbox in, but is having to use his bad foot to change gears.
And 6 right, 40, there's a triangle.
But when he finds Leo on the side of the road, he moves up 1 position. What he doesn't know is that he's now in the lead because Antoine Lestage is having engine problems too.
Mid into 4 right on crest.
I know that Leo stopped. It's unfortunate. He was doing a great rally, and Pat had problems too, a bit like us. So everybody's having problems. That's why we're still leading, I think, or maybe we're in second. But we lost a lot of time. You know, it's not normal. So if they can do something, maybe we'll keep going. If not, I don't know. Or maybe we'll just cruise tomorrow with no boost and just try to reach the finish. But we'll have to forget about the win.
With Leo's retirement, Maxime Labrie finds himself up to a strong 3rd overall, well behind the leaders, but with a minute cushion to Steve Hobbs. Hobbs, in 4th, is closing in on Labrie on the later night stages, setting up a great battle. Max Riddle has leapt up from 8th to 5th during the night with consistent top 5 stage times. As the fans watch the rest of the field go through the spectator corner on Camp Brûlé, Richard is back at service analyzing the first day of the rally and his new lead.
Yeah, well, just before last service, we broke the gearbox, so we were only at 4 forward gears, and lost a bit of time. The guys did a fantastic job, changed the gearbox to an H-pattern gearbox the last service, and we left with that, and it was a big adjustment for me because I have an injured foot, and so now I have to clutch on every shift. Both Antoine and Leo had problems, and I think now we might actually be leading by a little bit, so it's working out.
But even as the leading teams are working out their strategy for the second day of competition, the rest of the field is struggling to complete the stages. The regional novice team of Arsenault and Arsenault won't bring their Celica GT4 out of the woods under its own power, although they will drag it back to service and, amazingly, compete again tomorrow. At the end of the first 2 days of the Rallye Baie de Chaleurs, the leaderboard is turned upside down, and after an hour of time stages, Pat Richard holds a 10-second lead on a dejected Antoine Lestage, who has a blown head gasket in his engine and has given up on his chance for the win, and possibly the championship. When we come back, the Rallye Baie de Chaleurs continues to claim engines. Welcome back to the Canadian Rally Championship on TSN. On day 1 of the Rallye Baie de Chaleurs, Pat Richard and Subaru Team Canada suffered a gearbox failure, but they're in the lead thanks to the engine problems of Antoine Lestage, who was able to continue after losing time, and crazy Leo Ulicic, who is now out of the rally. The Canadian Rally Championship is brought to you by Subaru. Confidence in motion. The second and final day of the Rallye Baie de Chaleurs dawns sunny and the roads are drying out. Antoine Lestage is narrowly in second place and still has engine problems.
Go everything very carefully to make sure that we can limb through the stages, because it was really bad what happened last night and we could not change the head gasket. So, but Pat is also having big problems, so we're battling out.
Since yesterday, we've been experiencing some engine overheating issues, so we're running the heater on full blast just to assist with the engine cooling. So it's 25 degrees out, but we're running the heater full blast, so it's more like 45 to 50 in the car on the stage.
So Richard and Fagg start the day in first place, but they're being conservative and driving for points. On the first stage of the day, Richard loses 8 seconds of his 10-second lead to Lestage. On the second stage, Lestage becomes more confident in his engine holding out and takes 30 seconds from Richard, putting his Rockstar Rally team back in the lead.
To jump maybe into right 2. Keep in. Into left 2 plus. Half long.
Maxime Labrie is listening to his father Robert and concentrating on doing exactly what they have to do to stay in third, ahead of Steve Hobbs and Jean-Mathieu Tremblay, who can't get closer than a minute behind Labrie. In the two-wheel drive battle, Dave Saint-Pierre is crushing the usual two-wheel drive national field in his lightweight, high-revving front-drive Sentra SER. But although it likes to rev, doesn't like to rev this much. And that's the end of their rally. Raphael Guité has a lot more power than Saint-Pierre and is going just as fast, but the oil pan on his Neon SRT4 fails only 2 stages after Saint-Pierre blows his engine, and both fail to finish. Marc-André Larose is still loving the rough roads and making good progress. And Jeffrey Dowell is true to his usual form, staying out of trouble. Martin Walter and Ferdinand Troutzmandorf have recovered from their earlier trouble with car sickness, but their challenges aren't over yet.
What's that now?
No power. Whoa, smoke.
We blew something there.
Smoke, it's your battery.
The rough roads cause their battery to short out, and the wire insulation catches fire. Walter built the car, so after putting out the fire, he's able to use a pair of vice grips to reattach the battery, and they keep going after losing 8 minutes. And they make it over the famous jump to pull out a third in two-wheel drive. The Dowells come through in second, and Marc-André Larose and Yves Lafrenière win the two-wheel drive class at Baie de Chaleurs.
Finished. We finished the rally on all four wheels this time. Better than last.
In the overall battle, Max Riddle and Darren Garrett bring their Rocket Rally prepared car across the famous finish line jump in fifth after a consistent drive that included a top 3 stage time. Steve Hobbs and Jean-Mathieu Tremblay got faster as the rally progressed, and they go huge over the jump to finish 4th overall, which will keep them 2nd overall in the championship. Maxime and Robert Labrie fend off the charge from Hobbs to finish 3rd overall after a smart drive. And with both Antoine Lestage and Patrick Richard suffering from failing engines and having to nurse their cars to the finish, Pat Richard and Rob Fagg for Subaru Team Canada are flat out over the jump. But ultimately, Antoine Lestage and Nathalie Richard walk a tightrope to bring their Rockstar car across the line 53 seconds ahead of Subaru Canada for the win.
We did it. Yeah, crazy rally and just a great way to that will start our championship. So a good win and a great effort from the team, and congrats to Nat. She did a great job. Thanks to our sponsors. They've been supporting us even with the few problems earlier this year. So it feels really good to be back on the top spot.
The win is crucial for Lestage as it brings his championship hopes to life. Pat Richard's 2nd place and Steve Hobbs' 4th both net them valuable points. That allows them to hold on to 1st and 2nd in the overall Drivers' Championship, although Antoine Lestage is suddenly up to 3rd, even after his failure to finish at the 1st round. In two-wheel drive, Larose takes the win by almost 5 minutes, but benefits from both Saint-Pierre and Guité retiring on the last leg. Walter doesn't lose a position for his 8-minute fire delay, but he only just manages to hold on to 3rd. The two-wheel drive championship is extremely close, with only a point separating Hartle and Walter, with Eric Deschênes just holding on to 3rd after Larose's win here. After the mud, the humidity, the grenaded gearboxes, and the blown engines, the champagne is especially sweet when it's so hard to earn. Saint-Agathe, Quebec, north of Montreal, will be the scene of the next championship round at the Rallye Baie, an event loved for its great roads, but notorious for breaking cars. Tune in next time for all the action of the Canadian Rally Championship on TSN.